Hello, everybody. We're here. Five for talking. Leafs edition. I got Caps. This is his show. He likes the Leafs. So we're just going to jump right into this. Episode 1, by the way. Can we get something? Can we get a clap?
For 2021.
Yeah, episode 1 of the new Cs.
Go
Leaves. And yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So what do you think about Thornton being on the first line?
I thought it was very strange. I know that's like, where's the detail? But like, I don't really have anything to say. Like, okay, I do have things to say, but like, my first thought in my head when you asked me that is like, I didn't understand why. When you showed us the thing, I was like,
Well, part of the pitch is to bring him into the organization was that he was going to be placed on the first line. First of all, that's a hell of a risk, because he is 41 years old, and I don't expect him to play first line, top line minutes. I don't know if his body can handle that kind of schedule, that kind of strain at that age. But I actually see them switching things around throughout the season, this 56-game season. I don't see him playing on the first line all the time. Yeah, I see Hyman probably jumping back and forth, possibly. Yeah, but when I'm looking at what the plan is going forward, I've seen a couple interviews here and there, and Keefe is very high on his third line for some reason. I'm not sure if there's a plan behind it. Kerfoot, Mikheyev, and oh wow, I'm drawing a blank right now. Hyman, yeah, Hyman. Yeah, I don't know what the plan is going forward, but he's got high hopes for him. He's really putting a lot of he's relying a lot on that third line. I don't know if it's for sort of a defensive type role or shutting down the opposition, but yeah. So I don't know if you want to take it from there.
I see what I think is going to happen is you're going to get Thornton, Marner, Matthews, the first line of the game, the first line after all the periods. After the commercial breaks, when they're rested, you're going to get that line. I think when it's quick, go, Thornton's going to drop back to center the third line, and Hyman is going to move up to the first line, is what I think. When they're like in the middle of like a 6 minutes straight, no stops, Thornton's not going to be on that first line because that first line is going to be collecting minutes like crazy.
Yeah. And immediately when the first thought that came to mind was, who's going to be the guy on that first line to go hunt down that puck? Marner doesn't really do that. He's a pretty small guy. I don't think he'll be able to battle amongst these top big dudes, big defensemen on the opposition. Matthews is not that type of player, and I know for a fact that Thornton is not going to hunt down that puck because he doesn't have the speed anymore. So I immediately thought that why make that switch to begin with? But I honestly think that the only reason why he's on that first line is that the coach is going to rely a lot on possession. That the fact that they're not going to lose that puck going through the neutral zone into the opposition zone. So I think that's the plan as to why Thornton was being put on the first line.
I really see the second and third line as the puck possession lines, which is weird because what you said is what I'm pretty sure is what he said, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see that. I see them more as like a quick hurry up and go line where Thornton's going to feed the puck up through the middle to one of them. They're going to do a little pass and play, and then they're going to get off the ice.
Yeah.
I really see that second line as being the one that's going to sit in the zone and just control the puck. I really thought Mikheyev was going to get the first line. Like, I know you're talking about digging, and I get what you mean because I can't deny that that's hockey. But, like, Hyman doesn't have any skill. And he's not a big guy. He's just as small as like Mitch Marner.
Yeah, but he's not afraid to battle.
I agree with that. I'm not disagreeing with that. But I think that given the circumstance, like you can get Matthews or Marner down there. I'm not saying you want them like punching people in the corner or anything, but like Hyman wasn't very physical. He just wasn't scared to get down there. And I honestly thought Mikheyev was going to be on that first line. And I think that's the better fit, in my opinion.
What do you think about that second line?
To be honest with you, I don't like he's still young and there's still room for him to grow. He had the potential, but I don't like the idea of even VC being on the Leafs. So, like, if I'm being realistic, I don't like it. I always thought Tavares and Marner was the pair that should have happened because it's a playmaker and a goal scorer. Yes, Tavares can score goals, but he's never been like a goal scorer. He's not Ovechkin. He's more of like a Crosby, where he's a center that wins you faceoffs and makes plays. Like he could score, but and Nylander is a legit goal scorer. Nylander is the only player with the goal scoring ability on the Leafs in the same caliber as Austin Matthews, in my opinion. And he's not even in that caliber, but like.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, I think Keefe is really trying to push these other players. He's just basically trying to push them. And I think that's the whole point of putting VC on that second line with Tavares and Nylander is that he's trying to get him back to where he was, a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
Scoring 15 goals. So, I mean, if he's successful at it, that's just a lot more room for him to play around with, a lot more players to juggle up and down the lineup, up and down the roster. I figure why not give it a shot. But I think the whole point of this, and I think what he needs to understand is that this year is the year he needs to get this team going.
Agreed.
I don't think they're going to get another chance after this year because this is the best possible scenario for the Leafs right now. And
100%.
I'm not trying to wish upon anybody getting injured or anything, but there are a lot of top stars, a lot of players that are injured right now, and a lot of players that are not coming back, and a few players that retired. I don't see them having a better chance than this year to get the job done. Because next year, I think it's going to be back to normal. Hopefully, I just knocked on wood. Whereas everybody's going to be back and everybody's going to be a lot more excited and they're going to have a lot to prove. That's the attitude I think that everybody's going to have going next year on. But this is the best year. This is the best chance that they have.
I honestly agree with you, and I've said this before. Especially in the first couple of episodes. I think on paper, this is the best Leafs team of all time. On just physically on a piece of paper, complete depth, all in. I mean, sure, they could use more of a defensive team at some aspects, but at least offensively, it's the best team. Yeah. And you got a legit goalie. He's probably a top 5 goalie in the NHL when he's playing at his best. Last year, he didn't really show it to us. But I think as a whole, this is your best shot. If you don't do it now, I 100%, even if they're making the playoffs, if they're looking really, really bad come deadline, like they're looking like they were last year, how they kind of fell apart at the end, I can definitely see trades happening. Nylander's probably going to get traded. And
I see the GM getting fired.
Yeah. Oh, hey. Yeah. And Keefe.
Possibly, yeah.
If the Leafs don't go at least to the conference finals this year, I think Keefe and Dubas are out the door.
Yeah. Defensive pairings.
I heard you talk. There's a line you were talking about. You want to talk about that?
Obviously, the top pair is Brody Riley. I haven't really heard anything about him. I guess
not at all. Zero.
I guess they're okay. I'm not sure. By the way, in a few hours from now at 7:00, they're going to have a blue versus white game scrimmage. Well, not really a scrimmage, but a game between the rosters of the Leafs. It gives a good chance to see them in action. But Brody and Riley on the first pairing. Second pairing, Muzz and Hall. But the most interesting one is the third pairing, and that's Lennon and Bogosian. And supposedly there's actually pretty good chemistry between the two. I don't know too much about Lennon. Apparently, he's one of the best players in Europe, best defenseman in Europe. He's going to have to go through a bit of adjustment, but I think the pairing with him and Bogosian coming off a Stanley Cup championship with Tampa Bay last year, will rub off on Lettinen and possibly get that pairing going. And I mean, if that's the case, you have three decent pairings on that team. And this goes back to what you were saying. This is probably the best they've looked or on paper, and hopefully it shows that on the ice.
Yeah. I think that there's a lot of what ifs there. Yep. I think on any team, Bogosian is a solid third, 5 or 6 spots defenseman. So I'm not disappointed with that. He brings experience. He's played on good teams. He's physical. He can play the defensive aspect of the game, and he can move the puck to decently. Lettinen comes in extremely highly touted. Like, he's the talk of the European to NHL system this year. Like, that's the guy that everyone's like, he's the big signing coming from Europe over to the US and Canada. So I'd like to see what he has. And if they're playing good together, I love that. Potentially they move up, because in my opinion, I'm not a huge fan of Hall. I don't think he's that good. I would much rather see Dermott. But Dermott also had a really bad year last year.
Very bad year. I don't think
I would love to see Sandin. Even Liljegren, but I know that they're really down on him. There's a lot of rumors going around that Liljegren's out the door. They're just trying to find someone to pick him up for like a third pick or a third round pick or something like that, is what I was hearing the other day. I mean, I'd like to see the Leafs make some small moves with those guys like Liljegren or Bracco, or Bracco's gone, right? Yeah, well, like the guys of those caliber, like the guys, the high caliber players on the Marlies that don't have a spot on our team, that are kind of aging now. They're getting into their mid-20s, like not Liljegren's not, but get some draft picks. I want to see rebuild your whole thing, because you're not using those guys anyways. Draft new guys to fill their spot. I really think Frederick Anderson is in a tight spot. He's going to get signed next year by somebody if the Leafs don't. And
do you think there's a chance he'll get re-signed by the Leafs?
I do, but I think they're going to have to convince him to take $6 or less million. He's not getting paid more than $6 million.
There's always a chance that he might make the same. You know, he might take the same contract, but you know.
I mean, if he did, like, you could take a 1-year contract, right, for $5 million, or a 2-year for $10 million, and he's still young enough at that point where he can come out of that at like age. I'm not sure how old he is, so I'm not going to say it, but he can come out of that and still sign like a 6-year finish my career somewhere contract.
But see, here's the other thing. They have a very capable backup that may be able to take in that starting role.
I think depth-wise, they have a lot of good goalies right now.
Because if I remember correctly, Campbell played on a lousy Kings team a couple years ago.
He had that one really good year.
And he had an exceptional record. I think it was the save percentage was like, it was high up there. I can't remember what the number is.
He played well last year in the games that he played.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say he didn't. I think as far as backup goalies go, he's in the upper tier in the NHL.
Yeah.
I mean, the real upper tier of NHL backup goalies are actually starting goalies, which is kind of throws off the mix. Like when you have Fleury or Allen or Elliott as backup goalies, I mean, Mike Smith, like that's really like throws off the balance. But as far as like true backup goalies go, Campbell is easily one of the best.
Yeah. But I look forward to it. I look forward to it. Hopefully they're able to step up, and hopefully they can get over that hump.
Yeah.
But not only getting over that hump, um, winning the damn trophy, man. I really do hope that they win the whole thing.
Yeah, it would be nice. I obviously
Yeah, it's like what? How long has it been now?
a long time.
Long time.
About as long as you've been alive.
Longer.
Wow. Anyways, I don't have anything else. Do you have anything else?
What do you think about Matthews getting some time on the penalty kill?
I don't mind. I think
Would you use your
yes,
really?
yes,
Like
but
you got an exceptional goal scorer on your
smartly.
team. Okay, okay.
A lot of teams will do things like that though. Like Connor, they'll use a guy like Connor McDavid and then put 3 completely locked down guys out there, and then every time you have a breakout, Connor McDavid's going to get a breakaway. You know what I mean? And that could be their thought process, that maybe we're going to try to create offense out of the penalty kill. Or maybe it's going to force Matthews to learn some kind of defensive ability. I mean, I get your point shot blocking wise. I don't want that. Even with Mitch Marner, we had that talk. But I mean, there's
shot blocking. Okay.
I don't want him to block shots. But if you're going to use him as the guy to,
that's the whole point of the penalty kill, is it?
Oh, no, I get it. But there's a lot of teams that do have a system where one of their penalty kill lines is 2 really quick guys. Usually they're both defensively skilled, but there's usually a team that has 2 really quick guys, and they'll use them to try and break out of the zone.
All right. One final question, and then I think we can end it.
Yep.
Keith has a strategy where he wants to use 2 strong power play units, like a 1A, 1B. How do you feel about that? I mean, I can go over. I think I can go over the lines. I'll look for the lines while you can talk about it. But
I think that's a good idea.
Really,
because
the fact is that wouldn't you want to put all your nuts in one basket in terms of using that one power play units, just so that you can guarantee yourself, not really guarantee yourself, but up your chances of actually getting a goal?
Okay, I have 2 things on that. Yes and no. I think that you do want that, because that's something we complained about ourselves, about the Leafs not pumping out the power when they can. But no, in the sense that then your second power play unit, like we saw kind of last year, is completely useless. If it was me, I would run out. So when you're looking up these lines, you can tell me if I'm even close. If it was me, I would run out on the first line. I would put Tavares, Matthew, Marner, and then have Riley and Muzzin on defense, or whoever the top pairing is, Riley and Brody. And then on the second line, I would have Nylander, Mikheyev, and Thornton, or Nylander, Mikheyev, and Kerfoot. And with another forward as a defenseman, and then Muzzin.
So both lines, both power play units have 4 forwards, 1 D.
Yeah, right? That's what I figured it was going to be.
Yeah, Brody is not on either of them.
That's weird. Okay.
But, first power play unit: Matthews, Marner, Thornton, Simmons, Riley.
I forgot about Simmons.
Yeah,
I would have had Simmons on the freaking first line. Okay, sorry. Go.
I mean, that's always possible, but I don't think he's ready yet, because he had like 2 poor.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 poor seasons.
I get it.
That's the first power play unit. I think the whole point of putting Simmons on the first power play unit is so they can have someone tough and physically able to stay in front of that net.
Yeah, and he can score.
Yeah. And Thornton probably could do it too. He could probably stand in front of him as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And the second power play unit is Tavares, Nylander, Hyman, Spezza, and Lettinen.
No. Let me tell you something. I was on board with this because I forgot we had that much depth, that we had Wayne Simmons. You had me, and I was like, I like where this is going. And then you said that second line, and that's the worst line I've ever. That's not even a 1B. That's like a 1F. Like that line doesn't even play in the NHL. That's an AHL top line.
I mean, I'm not sure if I would be putting Hyman on that second power play unit.
I'm not. Listen, you easily have. Okay, what was the first one? Tell me the first one again.
First one is Matthews, Marner, Thornton, Simmons, Riley.
Okay, that second unit is Tavares, Nylander, Mikheyev.
Nope. Hyman, Spezza.
Yeah, I'm
and
telling you
Ledman.
mine.
Oh, you're telling. Sorry, my apologies.
Mikheyev, Tavares, Nylander, and then you can have Ledman and Brody at the point. That's my second line.
I would definitely put Spezza on there though.
I don't. Yeah, but you could have Spezza come in and out.
Because Spezza's got a hell of a shot, and you saw glimpses of that last year as well.
I don't want even Thornton on it. If I'm them, I put Spezza on that first line then, and not Thornton.
Yeah.
I don't have Thornton on my power play.
That's a lot of minutes of.
What are they doing? Especially with Matthews. Now I'm getting to the point where I'm like, okay, you want Matthews on the top line, you want Matthews on the penalty kill, you want Matthews on the power play. It's not happening.
That's what I'm saying. So going back to my question before,
they don't even use Crosby or McDavid like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Going back to my question before, would you utilize Matthews that way?
No, and now when we get into the nitty gritty of it, no, because that power play unit is going to require Matthews to play so hard because he's going to have to make up for the speed that Thornton and Simmons don't have.
And not only that, he's risking injury. I mean, if you're going to overutilize someone like that, you are risking injury. So that's crazy. I'm not too sure. I don't know about that first power play.
I would like to see.
I would have put Tavares on that first power play instead of Wayne Simmons.
You don't even have Nylander or Mikheyev on either power play unit.
Nylander's on the second one.
Well, he was okay. Sorry, we don't have Mikheyev. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm baffled by that. You just rocked my whole world, and I want this. I want to see this. This is the last thing I want to say. I want to see the Leafs run the power play like Alexander Ovechkin. I want Matthews to stand in one spot for the entire shift and them to just keep feeding him the puck and let him pump it on net. That's what I want. That's the power play I want. I don't want to see circles. I don't want to see dumping. The Leafs have ruined my entire life since the Doug Gilmour era ended. The Doug Gilmour-Clark era ended of just dumping the puck. No more dumping the puck. 20 years of dumping the puck didn't work. Stop dumping the puck. I hate it. That's not how you play hockey. Not in 2020. There's a reason McDavid is as good as he is. It's because he carries the puck from here to here and scores. Not because he dumps it in and then chases after it. I rest my case.
I got nothing to say except stop dumping the puck.
Stop dumping the puck. What would Doug Gilmour do? All right. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Wendell Clark sucks. Thank you. Have a good night. I got you. Eh? All right. Thank you, guys.